Hey YouTube, I'll Prep Dude here. Beer making day. I'm going to make some shtf brown ale. And before I do that, I figure I'd go over some of the ingredients with you. First of all, I'm using some of my storage water. I need 5 gallons of water. The second thing is I'm using they call a malt extract. Now this stuff only has a shelf life of 1 year. It's pre-hop, so I'm not going to be using hops in this recipe. But if you're thinking about storing stuff to make beer, this is not the way to go. I'm just doing this because this is the type of beer I want to make. Another ingredient is I'm doing a biscuit malt and victory malt. This stuff you could store just like you would your wheat grains. You know, put it in a bucket and oxygen absorber, Mylar bag. This stuff will keep. You know, you use enough of this, you can make plenty of beer. This is just an added ingredient to my recipe. The other thing I'm going to be using is 3 pounds of honey. Yep, making a honey brown, basically. And also, it's a, sorry about that, kick the camera. Got 8 ounces of malto dextrin. So, 5 gallons of water, can of malt extract, 3 pounds of honey, 8 ounces of maltodextrin, 4 ounces of biscuit malt, and 4 ounces of victory malt. Simple recipe. I'm trying to keep this simple for everybody. And there's plenty of beer recipes out there on the internet. You know, there's guys that have been doing it a lot longer than me. And I've been doing it for a few years, but I haven't done it in a while, so I figured, you know what the hell, I'm going to make some shtf brown ale. What better beer to make for, you know, poop hitting a fan than a brown ale. Get back and we'll start making some beer. Hey everybody, it's Ohio Prep Dude here. I'll make some beer today. Right now I'm just sanitizing my pot and my fermenting pail. And I'm going to bore you with the details. Be back. Alright, I'm just a little bit over 155. It's supposed to be 155, 156. I've taken the grains and I put them in a cheesecloth bag, and I'm going to drop this in this pot, and we're going to steep those grains for 30 minutes. Get back. Just still bouncing around between 159, 158. It's got a little high, so I turned down the heat. One thing amazing though, you see that steam coming off this pot? It smells so damn good. That's unbelievable. We'll get back to you when it's done. One thing you want to do though is you want to make sure the grain bag, you can see that, you're going to want to poke that every once in a while just to make sure that it's steeping evenly. You don't have to do it too often. So I got some time left. Alright, it's been like 30 minutes. I don't know if you can see the color of that. I'll try to get it in there. It's a nice caramel color. It's beautiful. It smells great. What you want to do here after the 30 minutes, your bag of grains, just take it out. Get back on this. Oh, too far. Just let it drain natural. You can see that. Don't squeeze the bag like it's a tea bag. Just let it drain till it stops. Once I do this and get this out of here, I'm going to bring this pot up to a roaring boil. So we'll get back to you. Alright, I got my wort up to a boil here. And what I'm going to do is, at this point I'm just going to cut the heat off completely. Totally turn it off. At this point, it's going to be a little difficult to do because I'm holding the camera. I'm going to slowly introduce my malt into my wort. You're going to want to stir this in. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. I'm going to add my malt extract. I'm going to stir that in and let that dissolve. And then I will add my honey to this. I don't know if you can see this here. I've taken a three-quarters of a cup of honey out of my jar to save for bottling. Let's try to get all this in here. Grab a spoon and try stirring this up a little bit. Be back. Okay, I've got my my malt extract in there. Going to add the honey now. Minus three-quarters of a cup. I'm going to reserve that for the bottling phase of this. I can open the jar. There we go. Just going to put my honey in. I'll stir that up. Once I get this in, stirred in, I'm going to add my malto dextrin. What I'll do is I'll put that three-quarters of a cup back in this jar so I can save it. Hopefully this is helpful. And I can open this malto dextrin. Hold on. Alright. You hit the bag vacuum packed. I didn't know it took a while to open this thing. It's going to add my malto dextrin into this. I'm going to stir this in here. Incorporate this into your wort. Like I said, I don't have the heat on anymore. This is just starting to cool down. Just kind of incorporate this into your malt or into your wort. Yes, it could be lumpy, but heat will break this down. It's a simple sugar, so no big deals. If you're going to do this, don't worry about it. I mean, just go with it. I mean, you really can't screw it up if you just kind of just follow everything. It's not that hard to do. There's, like I said, I'm trying to keep this simple. This is an easy way to do this. Nothing fancy here, just nothing fancy. But you know, just go with it. It's not that hard to do. I'll be back. Alright, I've taken my wort off the stove. I got everything incorporated in. I stuck it in my sink in ice. I'm trying to get this temperature down to below 100. So once it gets down to below 100, what I'll do is here, take a walk. Let's take a walk. I've already added 4 gallons of water to my fermenting bucket. That's going to get poured in there. But for now, you know, I'm just trying to get this thing cooled down. I keep stirring this, you know. It's still pretty far up there. You don't want to put yeast into a wort that's too hot. So once this thing cools down, we'll get back to you. Alright, I got my wort cooled down to below 100 degrees. I'm going to add it to this 4 gallons of water in my primary bucket. Be careful not to splash this when you do it. It's kind of a trick to it. It's kind of hard to do. Nice and slow. I'm going to grab my spoon real quick. give this a gentle turn, just to kind of incorporate the wort with the water. All right. I'm going to add this yeast. We can grab our scissors. I'm going to sprinkle this yeast on top of this wort here, or pitch it, depending on your vocabulary. Let's pitch the yeast. Gonna incorporate that in there. Don't stir it, just throw it on top. I'm gonna take my lid this off. Once I got a good seal on it, I'm going to add my airlock. I don't know if you can see this. I've got water even on both sides of this airlock. That's going to go in the hole in the top. And that's it. That's pretty much it. It's going to be an ongoing series. This has got to sit for like approximately 7 days, so I'll be updating this as we go.